everyone! Welcome to the Jayda and Stitches show and happy holidays! Whether you are still celebrating Thanksgiving or getting ready for Christmas or any end of year activity, one of the most fun things to do this time of year is to get crafty and decorate. And we've got the perfect, simple, pretty little decoration for you today. We're going to make these really simple Christmas stars. And we're going to use Heartland yarn by Lion Brand. And we'd like to thank Lion Brand Yarns for sponsoring today's video. Heartland is a size 4 medium weight acrylic yarn. It's lovely and soft, it's got a bit of a silky texture, and it's named after some of the most beautiful places in the United States. There are plenty of colors to choose from. If you want to check out lionbrand.com, we've got them linked in the description box down below, and you can pop over there and check out all the colors and decide on a color palette that might best suit your holiday. I've got 3 pretty colors I've pulled out of my Heartland stash for today's project, and I also think these might make really neat coasters. So if you're going to turn them into coasters, and they're the perfect size for that, they're about 4.5 inches across at their widest. If you want to turn them into coasters, I recommend 24/7 cotton, the size 4 medium weight version, because they have a ton of those colors as well, and that is it's 100% mercerized cotton, and it turns into a really pretty coaster. I've used it for other coaster projects in the past, but today we're going to focus on the Heartland. We're going to make these into decor. So I've got them hung to go on the tree, but you could just as easily make a whole bunch of these and string them together into a garland as well. I love little star decorations. I feel like they're perfect for this time of year, and they're only 4 simple little rows. They take about 15 yards each, so they're a great little scrap buster too. So if you have some leftover Heartland yarn from some of the other Heartland projects we've done here on the show, and we'll link to those in the description box down below as well, then these are the perfect little addition for a present, maybe a little present topper. You know what I'm talking about. So without further ado, let's grab our hooks, grab our yarn, we'll head on over to the craft table, and we'll stitch up some pretty new Christmas star decorations together. In order to make our Christmas star ornaments, we need around 15 yards of yarn per star, and that will break down, if you're changing colors, into a few yards per row. I'm using Heartland by Lion Brand. This is a size 4 medium weight acrylic yarn. I'm using Rocky Mountain, Redwood, and Great Sand Dunes as my 3 colors today. You're also going to want a little bit of ribbon or twine or even other yarn if you want, just to hang it. So you want to create a little hanger, and each of these lengths is around 25 centimeters or 10 inches, and that would be per star. You want a pair of scissors, a yarn needle, and the hook I'm using today is a 4 millimeter, also known as a G or a 6. And once you've got all that together, we can get started. You can start with whatever color you want, but make sure you've got your center color, because that's where we start, the center, and we work our way out from the middle. I'm going to use my beige Great Sand Dunes color to begin. We're going to start with a slip knot and chain 5. Once you have 5, you're going to join with a slip stitch to the first chain to make a ring. We're going to work all of our row 1 stitches into the center of that ring. So you can chain 1. This doesn't count as a stitch, it's just sort of getting us up to the right height. We're going to work 15 half double crochets into the ring. I'm going to work over top of my short tail, just because it's easier than weaving it in later. 15 half double crochet all worked into the ring. Once you have 15 half double crochet worked into that little circle, join with a slip stitch to the first half double crochet you made. And if you're changing colors, you can fasten off. If you're not changing colors, just stay where you are. If your yarn is sort of on the slippery side, like this lovely acrylic, this Heartland yarn, you might want to cut longer tails in order to weave them in back and forth a few times so that they don't come out from the rest of your stitches after you've had your piece finished for a while. But if you're using wool or some kind of grabbier yarn, then these tails will not weave themselves out too quickly, so you don't have to cut super long tails. But if you have a problem with your tails coming undone, always err on the side of a slightly longer tail. If you're changing colors, you can grab your new color. I'm going to try my green next. We're doing row 2. So row 2 on my original star is red, but I'm going to use my green instead, so just to alternate things a little bit. If you're not changing colors, you're still where you joined your last row. If you are changing colors, you're going to join your new color with a slip stitch in the same place that you fastened off. So just right where you fastened off, join with a slip stitch. All right, we're all going to chain 2. And into the same place that we joined our yarn or chained 2 out of, we're going to work a 2 double crochet cluster. Yarn over, hook goes through the same place, pick up a loop, yarn over, pull back through 2 loops, yarn over, hook goes back through the same place, pick up a loop, yarn over, pull back through 2 loops. You'll have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull back through everything. And that little chain 2 kind of helps count as a double crochet. This 2 double crochet cluster with the chain 2 counts as a 3 double crochet cluster. So just keep that in mind as you work around. We're going to chain 1, and now for the rest of this row we're going to work a 3 double crochet cluster into every single stitch all the way around. We'll have 15 double crochet clusters at the end of row 2. Let's make a 3 double crochet cluster. This is the next stitch right here. I'm working over my short tails, but you can leave yours to the back and work in later if you want. Yarn over, pick up a loop in the next stitch, yarn over, pull back through 2. Yarn over, pick up a loop in the same stitch, yarn over, pull back through 2. Yarn over, pick up a loop in the same stitch, yarn over, pull back through 2. You'll have 4 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull back through everything. That is a 3 double crochet cluster. Chain 1. We do it again. Identify the next stitch. Here it is here, right here. Yarn over, pick up a loop in the next stitch, yarn over, pull back through 2. Yarn over, pick up a loop in the same stitch, yarn over, pull back through 2. Yarn over, pick up a loop in the same stitch, yarn over, pull back through 2. You'll have 4 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull back through everything, and chain 1 when you're done. You're going to work a 3 double crochet cluster into each of those stitches all the way around. Chain 1 when you're finished. You want to chain 1 space in between every single one of those 3 double crochet clusters. You're going to find that this second row might be a little on the squished side, so you might have a little bit of rippling, or your piece might feel a little bit full. That's okay. We want to cram in those cluster stitches. Remember to chain 1 in between each 3 double crochet cluster. At the end of row 2, you'll have 15 cluster stitches. This right here is the join. It looks like a little knot. You're going to ignore that. Make sure you have 15 clusters, and that includes the little 2 double crochet cluster we started with. Don't forget your last chain 1 and slip stitch to join in the top of that first cluster stitch you made. If you are not changing colors, you're going to slip stitch into the chain 1 space, which is right here. So if you're not changing colors, you're just going to slip stitch right into this chain 1 space. If you are changing colors, you can fasten off. And you might want to take a moment to weave that tail in back and forth across the back of those stitches just to keep things neat and tidy as we work. In order to join your new color, you're going to put a slip knot on your hook, and if you didn't change colors, you slip stitched into the next chain 1 space. If you are changing colors, you're going to join your yarn with a single crochet. So if you didn't change colors, you're in this space, chain 1 single crochet in the same space if you didn't change colors. If you are changing colors like me, just join your new color with a single crochet in that chain 1 space. Either way, we're all sitting in this space with a single crochet now. Row 3, we are going to do this little row here where we turn this circle into a 5-pointed star. You're only paying attention to the chain 1 spaces in between your cluster stitches from row 2. So we've joined with a single crochet or chained 1 single crochet in that same space. That's the first chain 1 space. You're looking for the next one, And into that space we're going to work 3 double crochets. Chain 2 and 3 more double crochet all into the same space. So we're basically making a split shell here. 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet, all into that same space. 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet. It's going to sit like a corner. Skip to the next chain 1 space and single crochet into it. And now the whole thing starts all over again. Look for the next chain 1 space, single crochet into it. I'll worry about that little short tail later. Look for the next chain 1 space and work 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet into it. Look for the next chain 1 space and single crochet. So it's only chain 1 spaces you're working into, and the pattern is single crochet into the next chain 1 space, 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet into the next chain 1 space, and then single crochet into the next space. Single crochet, 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet into the next space, single crochet. So there's 2 single crochets in between each of those corner style points. 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet into 1 chain 1 space is what gives you that little corner point. And it's anchored on either side with a single crochet. So once you finish the 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet, you single crochet into the next chain 1 space, and then you start it again. Single crochet into the next chain 1 space, 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet into the next space, single crochet into the next space, and by that point you'll have one more little repeat of this left to do. Once you've finished your last 3 double crochet, chain 2, 3 double crochet, and you've single crocheted into the last chain 1 space, that will bring you back to the first single crochet you started the row with. You can join with a slip stitch to it. And if you are not fastening off, so if you're continuing with the same color, you're going to single crochet into each of the next 3 stitches and into the chain 2 space. So if you're not changing colors, don't chain anything, just single crochet into each of these 3 stitches and into the chain 2 space. That's if you're not changing colors. So if you're not changing colors, right from joining the row, single crochet into the next 3 stitches and into the chain 2 space. We'll catch up with you there. If you are changing colors, you can fasten off. Take a moment to weave in that tail and grab your final color. I'm going back to my beige. If you're not changing colors, you've single crocheted into each of the next 3 stitches and into the next chain 2 space. If you are changing colors, put a slip knot of the new color on your hook, and in that chain 2 corner space, join with a single crochet. So either way, if you didn't change colors, or if you did, we are now all in this chain 2 corner space with a single crochet underneath us. So don't worry, if you didn't change colors, I'll explain the end of this row to you, and if you did, I'll explain the end of the row to you as well. Either way, let's all start in this chain 2 corner with the single crochet. We're going to single crochet once more, chain 3, slip stitch into that first chain. This makes a little tiny picot, and then 2 more single crochet into the chain 2 space. So single crochet twice, chain 3, slip stitch into the first chain, and then single crochet twice. 2 single crochet, picot, 2 single crochet into the chain 2 space. When you're leaving a chain 2 space, pull back on your stitches and make sure you don't miss the top of the next stitch. We want to single crochet in each of those 3 stitches. Those are the double crochet stitches from the previous row. 1, 2, 3. That brings us up to the single crochet stitches from the previous row. we're going to single crochet 2 stitches together. Pick up a loop in the first single crochet, pick up a loop in the next single crochet, yarn over, pull back through all 3 stitches. You've just single crocheted 2 stitches together. Single crochet into each of the next 3 stitches. Those are double crochets from the previous row. And that brings us to another chain 2 space. 2 single crochet, chain 3, slip stitch into the first chain, and 2 single crochet all into that same chain 2 space. Before you leave, pull back so you don't miss that next stitch. Single crochet into each of the next 3 stitches. Single crochet 2 stitches together over the middle 2 single crochets from the previous row. So you pick up a loop in each of those stitches, yarn over, pull back through all 3 loops on hook. Single crochet into each of the next 3 stitches. That brings you back up to a chain 2 space. And into the space you work 2 single crochet, a picot, and 2 more single crochet. Don't forget to pull back on your stitches before you leave so you don't miss that first stitch. Single crochet into each of the next 3 stitches, single crochet 2 together, single crochet into each of the next 3 stitches, and into the corner or chain 2 corner space you want to work 2 single crochet, picot, 2 single crochet. You're going to repeat that all the way around, and I'll catch back up with you at the beginning. If you did change colors, you're finishing your row with a single crochet 2 stitches together over those last 2 single crochet stitches, and then single crocheting into each of the next 3 stitches and joining with a slip stitch in that first single crochet. If you didn't change colors, then don't forget you just single crocheted into those first 3 stitches and into the chain 2 space to join or to start your next row. So your last thing is going to be the single crochet the last 2 stitches together, which are these 2 single crochets, and one of them is where you joined. So you just sort of single crochet these 2 stitches together and then slip stitch to join into the first single crochet of the row, which for you guys is right here. But if you did change colors, single crochet 2 together, single crochet into each of the last 3 stitches, and join with a slip stitch to the first single crochet. That's where you join your yarn. Either way, we are all going to have 5 picots, those are the points all the way around, and 55 single crochet stitches in between. You can take a moment to fasten off. Weave your tails in back and forth underneath all those stitches. So I like to go underneath several stitches. There we go. Make sure that looks good from the front. And then I hop over top of a single loop, go back through the same stitches, and sometimes I kind of go back, I go past where I started through a few of those stitches, and if I still have tail, I weave that. I do the same thing. I hop over a loop and I go back through the same stitches. And that just helps me keep my tails from wanting to work their way back out of all my crochet stitches. And if you have any other little outstanding tails, maybe you left them to the end, maybe you weave your tails in at the end, make sure you've got them all. Trim any little bits of fluff that might be left hanging out there. And then you can take all of your little picots and pull them out. I like to kind of put a little pressure on the inside edges where our single crochet 2 stitches together are. So I can pull up on those points, and that helps really kind of tug it into a nice star shape. Now you can block these if you want, meaning you can sort of spritz them with a bit of water and pin them into place and let them dry. You can maybe give them a little bit of spray starch, but depending on the yarn you're using, I recommend trying a little spray starch on a separate scrap piece or scrap bit of the same yarn just to see how it acts. Sometimes spray starch doesn't agree with dyes or finishing to a particular piece. You shouldn't have to spray starch these, but you know, if you wanted to, you could give it a try. But like I said, try blocking it first. That should just kind of keep it nice and snug and tight. You're going to take your ribbons, take your 25 centimeter or 10-inch piece, fold the ends together, and you're going to knot those ends in a little granny knot. Make it as tight as you can. There we go. I like to make sure that it's not going to undo itself. Then you're going to pick one of your picos to be the top of your star. I like to take my yarn needle and run it through that space. So the picot actually has a little space inside of those 3 chains. Find the inside of it. Just pull the folded edge of your ribbon through that, and then you can take the knotted end and fold it underneath that, or you can go the other way if you want. Either way, you're taking an end and you're folding it underneath the other. I want my knot to be up top though. There we go. So if you want your knot up top, you take your knot and fold it underneath that end. And now you've got a star ready to hang. And there you go. I think these would be lovely in cotton if you wanted to turn them into coasters, like I said earlier. And I also just really love them for hanging on the tree. You could add little beads or pearls to them to add a little bit of extra bling, maybe some sequins or something. But I also just really love that old-fashioned kind of traditional pioneer, almost sort of like homestead kind of colorway. I just love these colors from the Heartland yarn, so that's why I like to use them for my Christmas decorations quite a lot. We've done Christmas stockings with this. We've done, I think I did an entire advent calendar with the Christmas stockings last year. I think it was last year, maybe it was 2 years ago now, using the Heartland yarns. I really love the Heartland yarn for Christmas, like I say, because it's got that pioneer feel to it. So a big thank you to Lion Brand Yarns once again for sponsoring today's video, and we hope you enjoy making these little star decorations. And if you do make some and you incorporate them into whether it's a tree ornament or a garland or maybe some coasters, I'd love to see photos of your finished stars. You can send them to us at our Etsy shop. We'll link to our Etsy shop in the description box down below. You'll also find the written pattern for this little pattern there as well, and the written pattern includes directions for making it a solid color or changing colors at the end of every or any row, depending on your own choice of colorway. We hope you enjoyed this. We hope you're still having a wonderful holiday, and we will see you soon here on the Jayda and Stitches show. Until then, stay safe, stay crafty, and have a great week. Bye guys!
Hi everyone, this is Mama in Stitches. Thank you for watching. Here are a few other videos you might enjoy. Don't forget to subscribe, and you can also click the like button and the bell. Thank you. Have a wonderful day.